Yep, looks good.
Okay, thanks. So welcome everybody. I'm Linda Bylander. I coordinate the Becoming an Outdoor Woman program in Minnesota. So if you have never heard about the program before, this is a great orientation to the BOW program and a personal invite for women to come and join us and for family members to come and join us this coming year. And as I go through the Minnesota steelheader, Lisa, was going to join me today, but she was unable to. So we'll talk a little bit about steelheading in the end of this presentation, but the majority of the presentation is going to be on the women's program, what we offer, and want to invite you to attend one of our upcoming programs. So first, welcome. Also, just to note, all of the slides that you see are from a women's program that we have done in the past. And I try to label the class that it was and the organization I worked with to offer that class. So one thing you'll see about the Becoming Outdoor Woman programs, I work with a lot of different people to offer opportunities for women to try outdoor skills. So in this particular case, you're looking at the kayak bass fishing class we did up here in the Brainerd area on the Mississippi River with Crowing Kayak. So what we're going to cover today is the Women and the Family program, our history, the mission, our volunteers that help with the coordination of the program. And then I'm going to go over what are the women workshops, the women skill classes, and the mentored program. So there's three distinct different types of classes that we offer within BOW. Then I'm going to go on to fishing on all the online learning resources and some of the webinars we've done on steelhead fishing. And then I'm going to end with the family program. And again, this picture is from our waterfall class that we did out in Western Minnesota with Delta Waterfall. So history, this is Dr. Christine Thomas, and she was a young professor at University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, and she later became the dean of the Natural Resources program. But she was an avid hunter and angler, and she wondered if women made up 50% of the population, why weren't there more women in hunting and fishing numbers out there? So she brought together a group of women back in 1988 to look at the reasons why, what were the barriers for women to participate? And she found lots of different barriers. From the equipment at that time wasn't being really developed for women, so they had to adapt it for women. There wasn't clothing just designed for women. There wasn't ability to learn skills in a safe, supportive environment, social norms and traditions. So women grew up, the guys went out hunting, the women took care of the house, that kind of thing, all those old barriers. But one of the barriers that she could address was that teaching women skills in that safe, supportive environment. So she piloted a program at Stevens Point in '89 called the Becoming Outdoor Woman program. It was designed for adult women specifically. It was a 3-day weekend format where you can come in and try a variety of different classes. The classes were a third hunting related, third fishing related, a third outdoor recreation related, which that was important. So for women who might not want to try a shooting class, they came for the biking class or the nature hike, that kind of thing, but were exposed to other women who tried all different types of classes. It was held in a safe, supportive environment, and all the equipment was provided so women could come to these workshops, be in a safe, supportive environment, surrounded by other adult women, learn skills together without having to put much resources in as far as having equipment. It was a very successful model and it grew since 1989. Minnesota DNR picked up the program in '95. Our first workshop was held up at Gunflint Lodge. It was a winter workshop. And since then, Minnesota has become the largest BOW program in the nation. We typically offer about 60 workshops and classes yearly. Now, the last 2 years have been not typical, but typically we offer quite a few classes and workshops. And nationwide, the 35 states and 6 Canadian provinces that hold BOW workshops, you'll have the same format. So if you go to a BOW workshop here in Minnesota versus one down in Texas or Wisconsin, they'll all be pretty much similar. So the mission of the program is basically teach women outdoor skills in that safe, supportive environment. And our whole goal is to increase outdoor participation to help develop those skills in you, to help you learn how to hunt, learn how to fish, or learn how to do that outdoor activity. A second huge goal for us is that social support. Women didn't have those hunting and fishing groups built in with their families in the old days. So we try to be that social support, find other women that you can go hunting, fishing, or biking, whatever. And then another goal of mine is to work with other organizations to increase opportunities for women. I became the biggest program in the nation by working with a variety of different partners. So this is a picture of our sturgeon fishing class, which is one of our favorite classes, and the Baudette Fisheries does it for us. So this is how our staff looks like. All these pictures are pictures of my steering committee. I'm a part-time employee with the Minnesota DNR. Then I work with volunteers that are really the heart and soul of the program. They're just passionate about outdoor skills and helping women learn these skills. The steering committee meets monthly through conference calls where we plan our workshops. So they do the workshop planning and implementation. So if you come to our fall workshop, that picture on the bottom left is two of my volunteers. That's who you'll see when you first walk in. They'll take your registration, make sure you have all your information. They host evening programs and evening. So the first meal, if you're brand new to the bow program, you come by yourself, which we encourage everyone. Come by yourself if you want to, because we make sure you feel welcome. They have a host table that they sit at with all the brand new people to welcome them in. We have evening programs. It's just a fun experience. So they're the heart and soul of the bow program, and they're just good ambassadors for our program. And then I also work with volunteer instructors. So no one in the bow program other than myself, I'm a part-time employee, is paid to help women learn skills. They're all volunteers. And I work with DNR staff that come to volunteer at my workshops. I work with conservation organizations, the public if they have a skill that we're looking for, and then outside agency. This picture is of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. So you can see all the organizations I work with to offer classes for women. So this is what the bow model looks like. So our whole goal with the bow program is to really help you learn those skills and to become a hunter, angler, or outdoor enthusiast. So we're not a one and done type program. We offer a series approach, hands-on learning, and we use the industry's best practices on how that should be adapted. So that outdoor recreation adoption model is our latest research on how to work with the public to make sure that they develop those skills, starting with make sure they're aware of the programs, they develop that interest in that activity, they try that activity out, they continue that activity with support, they continue it without support, and then maybe they were part of a fishing or hunting in the past, but that reactivation back into that sport. So in order to reach those goals, we have three distinct type programs in our funnel of programs. So the big bow workshops are our biggest programs. That's where we invite people to come in and try out activities, meet other women. Then the next step is bow skill classes, where we focus on one skill in depth. And then if you have that skill, you decide you want to buy that equipment and you want to go on a hunting fish or a hunting or fishing trip, then we do mentored programs as well. So I want to go through right now and show you what those look like on the ground. So this is a picture from our last bow fall workshop. It was done at Eagle Bluff Environmental Learning Centers. And we tend to have our big workshops at environmental learning centers because they have the facilities for lodging and for food and for equipment. This was my last one before the pandemic. And so what the big fall workshops are, we have between 40 and 60 women come to our workshops, and they're beginning to intermediate level hunting, fishing, and outdoor skill classes. And something unique about Minnesota, nationwide, the bow program is for women 18 and older, but our steering committee decided to vote to have women ages 14 and older with a guardian to come to our workshop. We wanted to grab those young women too if they were interested. So during the weekend, we have a variety of activities that you can try and get to meet all these groups of women. And then we have evening programs. And this particular last fall workshop that we did down at Eagle Bluff in 2019, Tina Dockin and Simone Shera were there, and their dog is right in the middle of the picture there. And they did a presentation on how they got into hunting. So this is what a workshop schedule will look like. So it starts Friday with registration. We have a dinner. And again, if you're brand new to the bow program, you're by yourself, we have host tables with our volunteers. So you get to meet other people. We do an evening program. So this fall, we're going to do how to dress for the outdoors. And then we do a campfire. Saturday, we get up, breakfast. Then the first learning sessions. Sessions are 3 hours long. So you pick an activity you want to do during session 1. You come in for lunch. You try another activity, session 2, dinner, and then another evening program. This fall workshop we're having in September is going to be by Sarah Holger. She's with Whitewater State Park, and she's going to talk about the health benefits of getting out in nature. She's been working with the Mayo Clinic and learning about the nature benefits of getting outdoors. Then the campfire, and then Sunday breakfast, our last session, lunch, and then we leave. So that's pretty much what a workshop looks like. These are typical classes for a fall workshop. It's not exact here, but we go with the 3rd hunting, 3rd fishing, 3rd outdoor skills. So we have the rifle class, shotgun class, introduction to pheasant hunting. Fall workshops can be back down in Eagle Bluff. So the mystery cave is right in the backyard. So we'll do that. Introduction to forest bathing. Sarah Holger is coming, so she'll be doing that. Biking the Root River Trail, canoeing. So a variety of different classes. So you get to pick one class from each session that you get to try. So there's a variety of classes that you get to pick from. Whoops, I missed the slide there. So the fall workshop, this is your personal invite for me to join us. This is our first big workshop we're having since the pandemic, and it's going to be down at Eagle Bluff Environmental Learning Center. It's a beautiful location down there in the Root River, and it's going to be the weekend of September 9th through 11th. So it's the weekend after Labor Day. And the registration for the fall workshop will be on my bow website probably in about 2 months. It'll be up and running. So you can go onto my bow website, download the registration, and sign up directly for the workshop. We really invite you to come and try us. We also have a winter workshop typically, and the classes at winter workshop are basically snow activities, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, ice fishing, dark house fishing, so a variety of different classes as well. So tentatively, we're planning a winter workshop for 2023. Again, with the pandemic, I'm not sure exactly the dates for these yet, but typically we hold these in January. And these are just photos from some of our workshops. So you come to our workshop, what can you expect? So this was data from our 2020, our last winter workshop, January of 2020, before the pandemic. And we do evaluations at all our workshops. So of this workshop, 81% of the participants were brand new to the bow program. 19% were repeat. Now remember, you have a variety of different classes you can pick from during the workshop. So people do come back 2 or 3 times to try different activities. And then based on your experience, we attend another bow program 100%. That's one thing about the bow program. We have 100% satisfaction rate of all of our workshops ever since I started the program. I personally started the program in 2005. I became the coordinator, and ever since then, it's been 100% satisfaction. People love our program. And matter of fact, most people find out about our program based on friends and family recommendations. People talk about the bow program and then bring their friends and family with them. So what do our participants look like? Age ranges, again, we're one of the few bow program that allows 14 to 18-year-olds to come, but only about 2% of the women are younger like that. They're mostly in that 30 to 60 age range, and mostly from that urban, suburban area, less of the rural area out there. So you go through a big bow workshop and you pick up a skill. Let's say you pick up archery, you try archery for the first time, and you want to learn a little bit more about archery. What's your next step? Well, your next step is take our skill classes. Those are called Beyond Bow classes, or our skill classes. Beyond Bow just refers to Beyond the Bow workshop. And across the nation, these are all called Beyond Bow with the states that have the bow program. So we have fishing related, hunting related and outdoor skill related classes. And something in Minnesota that I developed was a partnership with our state park naturalists. So I call it the Women in the Park series. So we can have programs at Afton State Park, Whitewater State Park, Fort Snelling State Park for free classes right in the state parks for women to come to. And the skill classes are just maybe a couple hours long, one day, a couple hours long, focus on one skill in particular, whether it be archery in the parks or whether in this case it's geocaching in the parks. So it's just focused on one skill, a little bit more in depth. You still don't need the equipment, but if you have equipment, we encourage you to bring that so we can help you learn how to use your equipment. So that would be your next step as a skill class. So after that, say you've gone through, you developed a skill, you have the equipment, and you want to try that equipment out on an actual hunt, but you don't feel comfortable, then we have mentored programs. So these two pictures is our archery turkey hunt weekend. That's happening right now. May 6th is our archery turkey hunt. So we go through a series of classes and they end with a mentored weekend hunt. And the same with the walleye fishing. They go through, you have the equipment, you know how to fish, but you just want to learn particular walleye fishing skills. So you come to the mentor programs. So here's some examples of the fishing, bow fishing classes and mentor programs that we offer. And again, we're not quite geared up 100% yet. These classes are being offered as our partners are coming back, but we typically have ice fishing classes, fly fishing, spin cast, steelhead clinic, sturgeon fishing weekend, and walleye fishing weekend, among others. The hunting skill classes, we typically have gun classes, archery classes, sporting clays. The archery turkey hunting series is on right now. We have about 30 women in that series, and we have 10 women wanting to go on the hunt. We're going to offer the archery deer hunting series this fall. The pheasant hunting weekend is happening this October, and we're going to try to do a firearm deer hunt this year as well. So those are all gearing back up since the pandemic. In our outdoor skill classes, we offer paddling sports, geocaching, snowshoeing, just a variety of different classes, again, with our partners. We even have a boundary water canoe paddle up in that, up north that is going to be happening. So those are just some of the classes that we offer. And we evaluate all of our programs. Again, I mentioned that the workshops have 100% satisfaction rate. And even these skill classes and mentored hunts are very, they're great. Women absolutely love them, and they do make a difference in women's lives. So since the pandemic, we weren't able to offer in-person classes. I went to an online newsletter to help develop skills through the website, and then we offered some webinars. And that webinars are now part of this series that you're part of today, the Minnesota Outdoor Skills and Stewardship Series, or the MOS program. And these are some of the classes that the bow program is helping to put on coming up in May, June, July, and August. So the walleye fishing class with Nancy Kep, June, the Cuyuna Recreation Area. If you ever gone mountain biking or want to go mountain biking, it's a facility up here in the Crosby area. Paddling sports is going to be done by Three Rivers Parks, and they offer quite a few women paddling classes. And then in August, one of my volunteers is going to be doing a clay shooting sports webinar, and then she's going to be offering a class on clay shooting following that webinar. So if you're wanting to keep up to date on what is being offered through bow, I used to do a yearly catalog that you see in the upper left there. I can't do that right now because I can't plan that far in advance. I pretty much plan 1 month at a time. So I've transitioned to an email bow updates, and that's what you see in the middle. That was my February newsletter. And what that newsletter does is tells you what's happening for that month coming up. So in February, our whole month was gearing up to start that archery turkey series. We started off with a webinar, and then session 2 was at some archery shop. Session 3 was a shoot at an archery shop, and then a clinic on learned a turkey hunt, and now a 3D shoot is coming up, and then we'll do our mentored hunt. So that's how I get my information out. So if you're interested in getting information about the bow program, go to my website. It's listed there under minnesotadnr.gov/education/bow. That'll take you directly to my site. Underneath the photo is a sign up for email, and you'll get one email from me a month saying what classes are coming up that next month. I started with about 2,000 subscribers. I'm up to 5,900 now. So that's the best way to find what's happening month by month through the bow program. And that's all I'm planning right now because of the pandemic, and we were just working on a monthly basis. The website also has where you'll find fall and winter bow workshop registration. I do take registration for that directly through my website. And then also the online bow calendar, what classes are coming up. And those classes will only be listed if there's still space available. Then finally, we have a volunteer Facebook page. As I said, that social support piece is important to us. So my volunteers run a Facebook page. If you just search Facebook, Becoming an Outdoor Woman in Minnesota, you'll find our volunteer Facebook page, and people use that to advertise other classes coming up that might not make it into my brochure, or they'll just recently somebody moved up to Alexandria and was trying to find somebody else to go hunting with. So it's a way to meet other women as well. So the next step, we often get people wondering if they can join bow. We are not a membership organization. We're an organization that's dedicated to helping women learn skills. And then we kind of let you go. Your next step would be to join a conservation organization. We have some new women-only Pheasant Forever groups out there, chapters. So you can join a Pheasant Forever chapter if you're into pheasant hunting, or we have I can't think of their names, Minnesota Anglers Organization out there for women. You can join that group. So if there are women-only conservation groups out there, you can join. That would be your next step if you want to become part of a group. Or if you want to stay with the bow program, we welcome you to become a volunteer instructor or mentor. Every single woman that you see pictured here has gone through the bow program and now are helping to mentor other women in skills. So we encourage that as well. So next I want to transition a little bit about fishing opportunities. As I mentioned, the steelhead woman wasn't able to make it today, but here's a couple of seasons coming up. Trout season's opening. We have Take a Mom Fishing Weekend, the 7th and 8th, where moms can fish without a license in Minnesota. Then, of course, we have the great Minnesota Fishing Opener, May 14th. So if you want to learn fishing opportunities, there's a variety of ways that you can learn through the Minnesota DNR web pages. We have a Learn to Fish web page series that is just phenomenal. It's a great resource for you. So that's the exact website you can go to, or if you just go to the main DNR, mindnr.gov, and in the search bar, type in Learn to Fish, you'll find it also. And I'm going to go through these pages just to show you what they look like. So the Start Fishing tab, it shows how to buy a license, how to select a rod, how to outfit a tackle box. And then if you open those up, the tie your hook to the line, it actually shows you how to tie a clinch knot. So you can learn how to fish just right from this website. It's a great resource. The next link would be where to fish. Different lakes, rivers, different accesses. We also have a lake finder on the DNR website. The next one is how-to guides. Say you want to fish for a particular fish. We have all these different how-to guides. Let me open up the sunfish how-to guide. So this is what it looks like when you open up a particular species. When to fish for sunfish, where to fish for sunfish, how to fish, the gear that you need, what's important, basic biology. It's a great resource. And then it also has fishing licenses and regulations, and a 24-hour license is $12, a yearly license is $25. So it has all that information on the site as well. And then the Learn to Steelhead Fish resources is phenomenal as well. I would recommend going to our mindnr.gov. In the search bar, type in steelhead fishing. You'll get right to the webpage that says how to gear up for steelhead fishing. Has a variety of information how to steelhead fish, including a link to videos and other resources. Also, we just did a steelhead webinar in March by the director of Minnesota Steelheaders. And that is, you can find that on by searching the outdoor skills and stewardship. Just type that into the search bar and you come up to the webinar page, just how you registered for this webinar. Look at past webinars, go to fishing and go down to steelhead fishing. So we just had a whole hour long, it actually went a little bit longer than an hour, how to steelhead fish in the spring with the director of the Minnesota Steelheaders. So if you wanted to learn a little bit more about steelhead, that would be the best resource for you on the DNR website. Okay, I wanted to end just sharing that we do have a family program out there also. When I started the BOW program in 2005, I met a researcher that said that young women will not spend the time or the money on themselves if they have young kids at home. They just, at that time, we are all working away from our kids were in school, and they wanted to spend those weekends with their families. So we started the Becoming an Outdoor Family program, which is run just like our BOW workshops. It's a 3-day long workshop. Pick 3 different activities during the weekend. We have evening programs. They're run by the Environmental Learning Centers. Eagle Bluff does these down in Lanesboro for me. But what's unique about the family program is that we want the adults and the child to learn side by side. So instead of the adult handing the gun or handing the fishing rod to the kid and watching, the instructor hands a gun to both the adult and the child and they shoot together. Or they hand the archery equipment to both the adult and the child and they shoot together or fish together. So it's a together learning opportunity, learn the skills together. And what's really fun, I did this when my son was, I think 8, down at Eagle Bluff. At night, it is so fun to watch the kids just play during their free time. We played around a pond and they caught frogs all night. Just seeing the kids in the outdoors and just having a great time as well. So these are just pictures of what it looks like at our fall workshops or at our family workshops. And you can see the mom and the grandma or whatever. It could be a grandma, it could be an aunt, it could be a parent working side by side with the kids. So that's a little bit about the BOW program. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then we can answer any questions. I think there's one question so far.
Yeah, great job, Linda. And as you know, I'm a big proponent of the Become an Outdoors Woman program. It's a great program with a lot to offer people. So hopefully people can check in and find something of interest there. So.
And I see the one question, are people from non-binary, transgender community welcome? This is a DNR program. Everyone is welcome, including men, but as we say, it's designed specifically for women and to be that safe, supportive environment. That's the only thing we require, is that if you come to our workshops, that safe, supportive environment for everyone. So yes, everyone is welcome. We do not discriminate. The minimum age for family, that's really interesting. So we allow the whole family to come, but each workshop's a little different. It's usually around age 5, 6. They can actually participate. That's when they have the skills to actually hold the equipment and to learn. But so if 2 parents come and you have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, great. One parent goes with the 6-year-olds in that class, and one parent stays with the 3-year-olds and just does whatever they want to do during the weekend. So yes, we invite the whole family, but only age 6 and older. 5 or 6, I can't remember.
And you have such a variety of programs too. What are the costs of some of those that are associated with some of those programs?
So our workshops coming up, we try to keep the cost to a minimum. DNR, we're not trying to make money off these things. We're just trying to offer a service to help women learn. So my workshops, the cost is for lodging, all your food, all your equipment for the weekend, and it's usually the cost that the Environmental Learning Center charges us. So for instance, this fall workshop most likely will be about $185 for an entire weekend, but that includes 2 nights lodging, 2 dinners, 2 lunches, 2 breakfasts, and all your activities. So it's very cost effective. We also have scholarships, especially for college age kids that might not have as much money to come to our workshops. Many of our skill classes are free. The ones at the state parks are free. We're just offering that service to help people learn. Or if it's through like Three Rivers Parks, they charge pretty nominal fees. I'm trying to think, our archery turkey series, each series, the site just charges maybe $15, $20 for each class. So it's pretty nominal fee.
Awesome.
Can you explain how to find past recorded webinars?
I was just going to mention too, I put the link in the chat for that also too. So I'll let you explain it too, but you can go to the link in the chat for Minnesota DNR website and our MOS programs too, but you probably have a better explanation how to get there, Linda.
Just because if you can't write down really fast, if you go to the mndnr.gov website, that's our DNR website, there's a search bar up there. If you type in Minnesota Outdoor Skills and Stewardship Series, it'll come right to our webpage for all the past recordings and all the future recordings that we're planning, or future presentations we're planning. Just hit past recordings, and then it will show you fishing related, hunting related, and other related classes. Just scroll down to whatever topic you want to hear. So in this case, steelhead fishing is what I talked about. You click on that, it's a YouTube video, and it will come right up.
I just watched a little bit of it this morning. I didn't see the whole webinar from the sharp-tailed grouse ones, which will be up there shortly too. So those are typically posted the Monday following this. So next Monday, that should be posted, the recording of this webinar. So
So there's a question. Yes, for the mentored classes, when you get to that point of, so right now I'm doing the mentored archery turkey hunt. So women can come into my archery turkey series without having their own equipment. It's a 7-part series. The last class is our mentored weekend. Women can choose to come to that weekend if they have their own equipment by that time and the skills, like they've been practicing their a good ethical hunt. So for most of the mentor programs, yes, you do need your own equipment by that time, plus that skill. But for the series, if you want to say, come to our archery deer hunting series, you can start off without having that archery equipment. We actually almost prefer that sometimes. That way we can really train you on what is good archery equipment, how to fit that equipment, what do you actually need for the hunt. Practice with some of the equipment that our archery group that we work with have, and then take your time to purchase the right equipment for you at your price point. Then once you have your equipment, then you can come into our mentored program. So that last piece is the mentor program. That's where we're helping you really go out in the field and try to shoot a turkey with a mentor right by your side. It's a one-on-one mentoring program.
and one of your volunteers, Desiree, did a great talk about archery hunting and talking about how to buy equipment and stuff like that, which you can find in our past recorded webinars. So I got one in the chat for you. They're asking if we offer any workshops on outdoor survival or how to start a homestead, kind of like off-grid living type workshops. Have you ever done any of those?
We have winter survival type classes, survival bracelets type classes. Actually, one of my volunteers is living her dream, which is living off the grid. She's our dog musher and our paddling the boundary waters. She lives off the grid up in Hovland, Minnesota. And it's just a fascinating lifestyle, but she does some of those as well for us. So yeah, so some of our workshops do address that. Again, we're just gearing up for those in-person classes right now. we do not have as many classes we've had prior to the pandemic, but we are gearing up as things are opening up. Someone asked, when is registration open for September workshop? That should be up and running within 2 months. I like to have it definitely June 1st. I like to have it open and ready to register. And I would recommend registering early for that. I've heard there's a lot of pent up demand for in-person programming. I just talked to Eagle Bluff. That's where it's going to be held this year, the weekend after Labor Day, that September 10th weekend. And she said she's been getting calls from women saying, when are you going to offer in-person women classes again? So as soon as that opens up, if you're on my newsletter that I send out every month, I will let people know during that newsletter that registration is open. Or you can go to my BOW website and just check that workshop link and see if it's available yet.
What's the best way if people want to join your newsletter, Linda, to get attached to that? Just send you an email?
You can send me an email directly to linda.bylander@state.mn.us, or the easiest way is go to the DNR webpage, Minnesota mndnr.gov, then /education/BOW. It takes you directly to my page. Scroll down right underneath the main picture on the top is a link, sign up for the email. And it's a direct email I'll send out once a month.
I'm just looking that up. I'm going to put a link in the chat here for people too. So, and if, you know, as a former educator and visit a lot of the environmental learning centers around the state, they're great places to do these programs. So kudos to you and them for partnering up and doing these programs. Because if you're going to do some kind of hunting program and don't want to be out in the woods 24/7, it's a great place to go and learn, and in a great environment with decent food and a good group of people. So
Down at Eagle Bluff, they really try to do as many organics. They have their own gardens. They have their own mushroom gardens even. They try to locally source all of their food, and it's just delicious food. And all that's included in that one low workshop price. And it's a fun weekend where you learn quite a bit. And each presentation, each evening, we do a different presentation. So it's just fun to learn more.
it's great. So
Great. I think that's all the questions we've gotten. We don't need to stay on the whole hour. So I just want to,
yeah,
do you have any more questions in the chat? Otherwise, I want to thank everyone for attending today, and reach out to me directly if you'd like to learn more about the BOW program, or go to my BOW website, sign up for my newsletter. Once a week or once a month, you'll get that, and it'll show all the classes that are happening through the Minnesota Becoming Outdoor Woman program.
yeah. And if anybody did tune in looking for some steelhead tips, like you said, you know, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll answer what I can. But also, Aaron did a great job a couple weeks ago talking about steelheading. So visit our past webinars for that information. It is a great season. I was actually out in Pennsylvania this last week doing some steelhead fishing on an unfortunate family vacation, but made the best of it and got a little bit of fishing in while we were there. So they are running and they are a lot of fun. So the North Shore is ripe for steelhead this time of year. So
Great. And I hope to see some of you women. I see some notes saying, thank you, I'm looking forward to it. I hope to all see you at the fall workshop. Again, this is our first workshop since the pandemic, so I'm pretty excited about it. And our volunteers are pretty excited about welcoming you into the outdoors.
great. I think with that, unless we see any questions pop in real quick, I'll end the recording. And
Okay, thank you, everybody.
for attending. And we'll see everybody next week. We have, I believe it's 4-H shooting sports is the talk next week. So that'll be a good one, especially for anybody that has kids that might be involved or thinking about getting involved in 4-H across the state of Minnesota. It's a great program and a great way to get involved. So hopefully we'll see everybody next week, and have a good rest of your week. And hopefully we'll see you outside soon.
Thank you.